Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello to everybody. That's the first time for me to have a presentation in that kind of way. Usually I have these kind of presentations on stage. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Manuel from Mohrenschildt, and I work for Dkv Euroservice for a little bit more than 11 years now. And within Dkv, I'm responsible for partner and solution sales. And let me go right into the presentation in order to have more time for potential questions that are coming up. So let's go to the next page, please. So some facts and figures about Dkv. I think most of you already know Dkv. We are present in around 42 countries. We have more than 100,000 acceptance points in which our customers, of which we have more than 230,000, can use around 4.2 million cards and onboard units in order to pay all different kinds of services, with which we generated around 10 billion euros in revenue and turnover in the year 2019. And we offer a network with partners of more than 12,100. So we follow the motto, you drive, we care. I'm sure most of you already know Dkv. Just wanted to give you some facts and figures behind. And I want to give you some information about the product and how we offer, how we actually support our customers nowadays. And I would therefore ask to go to the next page. Dkv was always very, very good in cost optimization. So the three main pillars of Dkv was fuels, tolls, refund. Most of you know those products because you use them on a daily basis. And we were actually helping our customers in order to manage their costs. So we would make sure that whatever they needed when it came to repairs or breakdown assistance, 00800 number on the back of our card, whatever they needed, we helped them on the way. But in the end, we supported them in managing their costs. And in the beginning of this year, we purchased a company called Styletronic, a telematic-based company in Austria, which we purchased for a very simple reason, because we wanted to make sure that we support our customers from a pure cost optimization standpoint to a cost transparency based on data. And based on fuel, tolls, and the refund, the services that you already know from Dkv, we then came up with a solution which we call Dkv Live, which I'm about to tell you and giving some information now. So the first thing is that we are providing a data or a portal in which we feed the data from a little hardware device that I'm going to show later. And we're going to the market also with an app. So the idea behind is that we are supporting our customers in what we call transparency in digital fueling. So within that little device, all the data is then collected and sent to a backend system. And we are providing our customers within the Dkv Live platform the complete Dkv service network, and they can use that in order to actively steer vehicles based on geofencing on tank levels to the best and optimal fuel stations. So the idea was, and that's the reason why we went into this business segment, is that we want to make sure that we not only help customers kind of after they come back utilizing some reporting tools, e-reporting, and making sure that they have the cost after the trip, but we wanted to enable them to manage the fuel cost while they are driving kind of in real time. So on the next page, I would want to show you what that actually means. So the idea is, and we're not there yet, is that we want to have a data transparency from end to end, and that we want to support our carriers in the way they do business as of today. So the idea is that we're connecting all the way from the shippers to the carriers to the drivers, utilizing the app all the way to the recipient with the tracking link that can be used and sent coming from the portal. But to start with, and we have gone live in the first countries now in Germany, we're now going to Romania, Czech, and Spain, and Slovakia as well, following by all countries in which Dkv is actively working by the end of next year, is that we are providing a solution to our customer base, which today is the typical carrier. And most of our customers is the mid-sized company, from small to even very, very big. But the majority of our customers is smaller customers who don't have the funds or who don't have the opportunity to connect to that kind of data themselves. So we want to make sure that we give them more tools in order to steer their fleets and their cost better. On the next page, I would want to show you how that actually works. So I was mentioning a little hardware device. We call it the Dkv Live Box. It can be used for either the tractor unit or the trailer. It is built into the vehicle, utilizing either the FMS infrastructure of the vehicle, or if it doesn't exist, a CAN bus system where we just remotely listen to the CAN bus data going through the vehicle. And all the data we're feeding back into the cloud, and then we do a lot of stuff with that data. So first of all, the owner of the fleet has access to his own data. It's always his, and we collect information like GPS positioning, VIN number, speed, pedal position, tank capacity and consumption. And this is where I actually want to focus on more: mileage, driver information. And we also offer information about a digital tachograph, and he can use that in order to download digital tachograph information. So all in all, what we bring to market is not rocket science when it comes to the telematics, because we know that the market is already out there with telematic solutions, but we want to make sure that based on the telematic data that we collect and get from the vehicle, we combine that with fuel information and pricing information in order to have more control and more managing the cost abilities by our customers. So all the data, which we then transfer every 10 seconds into a portal, we show to the dispatchers and the owners in the Dkv Live portal. And the features that we actually have in a portal, and they're growing over time, I want to show you on the next page. So you see to the upper left corner, as I said, based on a full-fledged telematic solution, we show a dashboard where the dispatcher or the owner can set proactively alarms. So one feature is actually that he will see whether the truck is getting close to a fuel station where he might get interesting pricing from Dkv. So he could be remotely alerted by any truck with a specific tank level getting closer to a fuel station. Not only that, as soon as a truck is refueling, he will see that information in the dashboard in real time, and we're differentiating between other cards utilizing at a fuel station, so the owner will see that the truck has been refilled. And when this transaction has been generated with a Dkv card, then we show that as a so-called Dkv verified transaction. In case the position of the vehicle should not match the position of the truck at the time of transaction, we will show an alert so that the dispatcher has full control over what's happening, not only with the trucks and the fueling, but also with the fuel card transactions. So he will see in real time whether everything is okay, and he can react very, very quickly. In the middle left section, you see that there is a live tracking of the truck fleet. We're utilizing the HERE technology, and we're showing, and the drivers or the dispatchers able to store the driven routes, kind of track and trace, and we're storing that up to 360 days. When you go to the left corner of the presentation, you see that we're offering a route planning, taking into consideration the Dkv service stations with the best price. This is what I mentioned earlier. So we want to give more control while the trucks are out there driving to the dispatcher to steer the trucks to the best fueling locations, always taking into consideration the best driving trips. And as we're utilizing HERE technology, their card material is really providing a lot of information in order to make sure that the dispatcher or the truck is then utilizing the best and most efficient route. As I said already, we are showing a validation of the Dkv fuel card transactions in real time, and that will help to potentially control fraud even better, to make sure that drivers and trucks are always at the same position when there is a fuel transaction. When we come to hardware, this is something to the upper right corner that was developed by the company Styltronic itself. It's based on 5G technology for simple self-installation into the vehicle. Why is 5G technology so important? You might know that some telecommunication companies, and I think starting in Switzerland, are switching off older networks, and they're, as of now, starting next year with the 2G technology. They will switch off. More and more other companies are following that example. So if there's older technology built into the vehicle, that might no longer work in specific countries. So our solution, our hardware, is future-proof. And one thing which we also bring onto the table is the digital tacho downloads and displaying of driving and rest times. And the idea is that utilizing the app that we will bring to market by end of this year, that we are providing based on the tour and route programming, an ETA based on the route of the truck. And the one thing we're very, very proud of is actually to the left corner you see down below. We have just brought this new product to market with the new fuel features, and especially for those, we have won the Telematics Award 2020 in the category Best Innovation, something that we're really, really proud of. So on the next page, just for those of you who might be interested in some technology, I would want to show you how that can actually be connected to the vehicle, because that is a very, very important thing in order to make sure that it is as easy as possible. And in some cases, it's actually a plug-and-play solution. So the little device, you've seen it, is as big as a cigarette box. So it's really very, very small. In the ideal situation, you just need one cable, you connect it to the FMS. Just in case your vehicle should not be equipped, or the customer's vehicle in general is not equipped with a FMS solution, we also offer ConClick solutions, which is then listening remotely by induction to the data that is going through the CON bus. And for those who are also interested in getting more trailer information, we're also able to connect to all kinds of trailers utilizing WAPCO and Knorr-Bremse connections. So all the data that we're collecting, we're feeding into the Dkv Live portal to provide it to the dispatcher. Again, putting all that information together, including with tolls, fuels, pricing, fuel stations. We will give a very, very strong tool to actively and in real time steer the fleet to the final destination, utilizing the best fuel stations on the way, because the dispatcher has nothing to do but just listen to the information coming from the system, put in some alarms, put in some alerts, and just watch for information coming in. But there's more to come, which I want to show you on the next page. And as I said, we will have the validation of fuel transactions with Dkv transactions in real time in order to make sure there's more control over what's happening with fuel cards. We all know that sometimes, once in a while, there is some abuse, which we give more tools by offering Dkv Live to control that. There will be a seamless communication between the dispatcher and the driver, where we will set some default communication patterns that can be used on either side in order to make the communication easier and streamline that more and save both parties time. And we want to make sure that we are offering the information that is coming from the interface, from the portal, actually from our own backend systems, into the customer's own systems, utilizing an API, which is already existing. So in case somebody's just interested in getting the data and having more control, he could utilize the interface and feed the information into his already existing system and just make use of the hardware, so to say. And the next thing that we're working in combination with the app is to make sure that we are offering an automatic calculation and display of expected arrival time. The ETA topic, very, very important to know, especially now with Corona times. Where's my truck? When will it be there? You might remember the times when borders were closed, trucks were stuck. The ETA was a very, very important thing then, and I think it's getting even and more important. Then the next thing that we're working on is a digital route assistance for planning, efficient implementation, and the analysis of transports, where we want to give more control after the trip, combining that with our existing Dkv e-reporting functionalities to even have more control and cost awareness when it comes to invoicing to the shipper, who's actually the one who has to pay for the trip. And very important, a last point that is getting more and more relevant nowadays is actually the CO2 part of our business. So we want to make sure that we have some lighthearted motivation for drivers to drive more economically. And Dkv has brought something into the markets that was the Eco Trucker, a system that would actually collect data based on the driving behavior of customers. And then in combination with utilizing fuel stations recommended by the dispatcher, and at the same time having an economically driving style, the driver can collect points that he can then redeem at a Dkv shop, something that we will be developing within the next year. So we want to make sure that we're supporting our customers on a CO2 neutral, or at least reducing the CO2 emissions while driving, because we get more and more information that this will be playing a more and more important role in the future. So all in all, this is how we want to support the logistics industry and our customers, following the motto, you drive, we care, and then making sure that we provide a digital assistance and transparency on demand. Thank you.